The only way of actually solving this is to distribute it, because we cannot combine 2x plus 4. Those are unlike terms, and there's no way of combining them. Okay? So our only option is to distribute it. Now, remember, when you do that, you multiply that first term, or really anything outside the parentheses, times everything inside the parentheses. So when you go to do this, you're going to go 3x times the 2x plus 3x times 4. All right? Anything outside the parentheses, you multiply it times everything inside. Distribution. What's going to happen when you multiply the 3x times the 2x? It's going to become 6, because we know 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. What happens when you multiply x times x?
Stays the same.
Doesn't say the same.
Because there's-
This is when we are going to add our exponents. Okay? Anytime you multiply terms, anytime you multiply x times x, you add their exponents. Now, there wasn't anything, x was not raised to anything, I just wrote down 1. Okay, if there's no number up there, if there's no exponent there, you just write down 1 for it. So really, you're just adding 1 plus 1. What does that give you? 2. So this becomes 6x squared. Okay? We're just adding exponents here. Now, for this last part, what does this become? 12, yeah, because we're going to multiply the 4 times the 3. What about the x? It just stays with it. Absolutely. Now, it does not matter. Do you notice how 4 and 3x are considered unlike terms? That's right. But you have the ability to distribute it. You have the ability to multiply 3x times 4. That's okay. You just cannot add or subtract unlike terms. Does that make sense? Just trying to... So if we had this. All we're going to do here is distribute it, just like we did the first one. Okay? And multiply everything outside the parentheses times everything inside the parentheses. First of all, we're going to multiply the 3 times the 2. That's going to give me 6. What's going to happen with our exponents and our x? What does that become?
2x to the second minus 4.
I think it's going to be
6x cubed.
6x cubed.
Why?
Because there's a 2, x is raised to the 2, and there's always a 1. You add 2 plus 1.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a 3x squared. All you're going to be doing is adding that x squared, or that 2, plus that 1 for x. Just adding those exponents.
2x to the third.
So then becomes 6x to the third.
Why don't it go like break off to where it's like
6x squared.
So when you multiply the 3x squared times the minus 2, that's going to give me, you just multiplying 3 times 2, which gives me 6x squared. Yes. We can still do that. It's fine. All right, now when we do this, we're essentially multiplying the 4CD times 3cd squared, right? Plus the 4cd times 2c. Now, let's talk about the first part. Let's talk about this part right here. First off, I know I'm going to multiply the 4 times the 3, and that's going to give me what? Good. Yes, Anthony is completely right. From here, all we're going to do is add the exponents. So let's just talk about c. I have 1c right here, and I have 1c right here. Now, both of those are essentially raised to 1, right? So that's going to become c squared. And yes, whoever said d cubed, now we're talking about, now this d is all by itself, so that's essentially raised to 1. And I have a d squared, right? So this is just 1 plus 2, gives me 3. How about that? Okay? Is everybody understanding? Still multiplying the coefficient, or the number in front. Only difference is, instead of, before we were adding and subtracting and nothing was happening to the variable and nothing was happening to the exponent, when you multiply or when you divide, that is when you either add your exponents or you subtract your exponents. All right. Now, let's talk about the second part. We know we're going to multiply the 4 times the 2. It's going to give me what? Good. What else am I going to have left? It's going to be c squared because I have essentially 1 plus 1 right there. And I don't have another d, so I can just leave that right there. Okay? So when you go to distribute this, we know we're going to multiply this 5tx times everything inside. All right? So this is a 5tx times negative 3x squared. And I'm also going to do plus 5tx times a negative t. Make sure you keep that sign in front of that t. Okay? Now, what does this become? This first part. Good. Good. Now, negative 3x squared does not have a t. So, first of all, you know I'm just going to really drop down that t. So you know. Now, we do have an x.
Hey, can you put the t with negative 15? No, no.
Got it?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yes. Now, so we're going to add the x from the 5tx. We're going to add that exponent of 1 right there, plus the x squared becomes x cubed. Now, this other part is going to become what? X. Perfect. Anybody not get that? Or does anybody not know why I got that wrong? Everything makes sense so far? Good?